What's up, y'all? My name's TAHA. My album Have Nightmares About Me is out now on all platforms, and here is my album analysis.
And welcome back. I'm Mike with the Turntable Teachers, and class is officially back in session. We have Night School episode 42 and our fifth and second to last edition of the album analysis, a limited series where we have alumni come back onto the podcast to talk about their brand new project. And returning to the podcast, one of our favorites, Mr. Taha, is back with us. What's going on, dog? How you doing?
I'm good, man. How are you?
I am great. So good to see you, man. Jump right into this thing. New project, Have Nightmares About Me, out now on all streaming platforms, man. This one's been a long time coming for you, and you've been talking about this one really actually since you came on the podcast the first time. You were talking about this project. You were like, yo, this one's going to be crazy. It's dark. It's blah, 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 all these different things. People, obviously, you can tell like from the title of the project that this one's definitely probably be a little bit darker and things like that. So, but my first question for you about this project, all right, because I think this is kind of something that we should talk about just to get this out of the way. Like, and this is for probably anybody that has heard it or maybe hasn't heard it. I want to talk about the writing on this project because that is, I think, there's so many things to talk about this project, but that is the one that I think that's one of the things that stands out the most. So, like, what type of headspace were you in creating this project, man? That's what I want to know, because some of the writing here, it's dark, it's twisted, it's just all these just different, I feel like moments that you were having over maybe the last year or two, or maybe the rest of your whole life, I should say too. It felt like just like this therapeutic, just like I need to get all these demons out. That's what it felt like for me. But like I just want to hear from you, like where was the inspiration behind this thing?
That was a amazing question. I feel like there's so many. A cool thing about art I've realized is looking at the context of when it was created. And even just the point of this album, was created during a pandemic, during a time of much racial tension and extreme just like awareness of anti-blackness going on within America, and just like kind of like the back half of Trump's presidency, which was just so insidious. Like everything just started really coming out of the waters even more and more, and just like everything that was bubbling was just erupting in front of everyone's eyes. So I feel like that's an interesting thing, was just the context of it's like, how could you not make a project like this during one of the most shittiest times of all history? Like, honestly,
True. It's true.
Like, this was such a shitty fucking time. And so that was just the context surrounding like the environment. But I guess like personally wise, like the personal writing behind everything, and just like kind of like drawing back on like the traumas I've been through, was I've always struggled with like anger. Anger was always a big thing. And it was always a shameful thing. Because I guess it wasn't really anger, but it was more rage. I'd always be, and it was just so consuming, and it was bleeding into everything. It was bleeding into like my love life, my friends, my job. I would just be having these like feelings of such rage, and it just, and we've talked about that before, even on the last interview we did. I remember saying like, yeah, man, I really got to work on my anger problems, because it's just like my anxiety manifests in that way. It manifests in anger. Other people, like they get disoriented. Some people, like, they draw in. I just let it all out in a very uncontrolled manner, but in a very dangerous way too, that ends up really hurting myself, and like, like, shout out to my loved ones. Like, they always know, like, oh no, we know you don't mean this, you don't mean that, but like, damn, man, like it was just a lot and very draining. So I feel like it was out of necessity. Really, with all the writing, was like, this is a necessity. I need to put this character of mine, this part of me, this nightmarish character of me, to rest. So yeah.
How do you feel now that you've done that?
I was definitely like it was a sense of mourning, saying goodbye, because this character, this part of me helped me. Like the angry Taha helped me in a lot of times. During times where like bullies were coming at me, standing up to like authority figures of like, just like empower of sorts, like
Yeah,
my
authority
teachers,
figures. Yeah.
like authority people, and like, just like it helped me a lot, and it helped scare people, and it helped get respect out of others, But then at a certain point, like it was like, now this is just, it's more impeding me than like propelling me, So I had to like say goodbye to it, like put it to rest.
Well, I mean, I think that is a mature aspect. I think you did it in a mature way, right? And I think it's not a destructive way by any stretch. And, making music, of course, right? But something you said that I think really resonates with me, you said, like you mentioned that anxiety, for you, it's more of it's an aggressive thing. And I almost feel, well, I think there's two ways that people go when they're anxious and they have anxiety. It's the classic fight or flight, right? And I'm glad that you're kind of pointing out like, oh, like I'm more of the fighter, right? Like I'm someone that's going to stand up to whatever's in front of me. For me, I'm actually the opposite. When I get anxious, I try to remove myself from that situation to calm down or like get in a better headspace. So I'm the flight person necessarily. It's not that I'm not going to like deal with whatever's going on, but if it's too overwhelming for me at the time, my anxiety takes over. It's like, whoa, we gotta time out. Like we gotta take a breather, and then I can come back to it in a better headspace. So like for me, I am much more of like the not shutdown type of person, but much more of like the flight. And it sounds like you're more of the fight. So like it's just interesting to see how like it manifests itself in different ways in different people, right? Our anxieties and our depressions and all this stuff. And you bring up a good point, like the pandemic brought all of that out in all of us, I think this past year, you know what I mean? And then it was the perfect storm, that with just the, things going on in society and racially, like you said, and with the president, like it's just, there was so much going on and it all just kind of came to a head, I think, but I think you're right. Like there's a way that where us kind of hashing all of these feelings out, I think it'll only benefit society in the long run. Because now I think at this point, the message is pretty clear. Like we need to do a better job to include everybody, right? We have to remember what America was founded on. It was founded on immigrants. It was founded on, people coming together. And if we're not doing that, then, we're not doing ourselves any favors by, not recognizing our history, like how we got here, like, who the type of people that have been oppressed and how it's not a lot. A lot has changed, but there's still a lot of, mentalities that haven't changed, you know what 100%. I mean? And for people like you, I'm sure that is frustrating and like I would be angry too. You know what I mean? Yeah. I have actually scratched that. I was angry this whole goddamn year because of what you're talking about. You know what I mean? And I'm not somebody that's even deeply affected by that on a personal level. You know what I mean? Just from an empathetic level. So I just appreciate everything you put into this project, man. I really do.
That means a lot. Man, I appreciate someone because, like, someone getting it. You feel me? Like, you actually got the message and you got what I was trying to get with this project. So it just means a lot because I feel like throughout my whole life I've been every time, I've mentioned this before too, every time I'm trying to tell people like my feelings or my perspective in life, or even just like I'm telling people to respect me, they'd be like, they just flat out reject it. They'd be like, no, we're not going to do that. So the fact that like I put myself in my most vulnerable form and I have someone like you respecting that, man, and seeing that, bless, man, bless, 100%. Thank you so much, man.
Oh, of course. You know, I rock with you heavy, and I'm glad just too that I was able to kind of hear that message and understand it, and then, because you gave me a different perspective that listening to your music just in general, even since for the first time you came on the show, like listening to your music has given me a different perspective on just human experience, really. You know what I mean? Because I think for you, like you being a Muslim and being someone from the being Middle Eastern descent, like there's not a lot of that voice in hip hop, I don't think, right now. You know what I mean? Or there's some, but it's so few and far in between. And the people that really are they really talking about some of the things that you're talking about, like Islamophobia? And it's okay for you to be angry. You know what I'm saying? Like I think that's a good thing part of your project too, is that it's kind of this whole thing where it's like it's okay to feel these feelings, right? Like deal with them in the proper way. but this is not like a horrible thing that you're to be angry. Like, why does that have to be something that's taboo? You know what I mean?
100%. Yeah. It's about like, it's like this weird balance, right? Of like making space for your feelings, but also not trying to be consumed by them. You know? And so I think that was with anger specifically here, and just kind of like, you know, even touching upon toxic masculinity in a way where it's like, you know, is it toxic masculinity too? That's such a kind of like this very complex thing, because it's like, yeah, you know, you're not supposed to be like, obviously being violent and being aggressive isn't okay. You don't want to be that, but it sucks when other sources are putting that image on you and and like in a way they already kind of confine you to that definition.
Right.
And so in a way you're just like so confused, because you're like, I don't want to do this, but they're making it. They keep trying to put me in this box, you know, and they keep putting me in these positions where it's like, how else am I gonna react?
Exactly.
So I think that's like a big thing. So not that it's impossible, just saying that like the journey through that is very could be a bit foggy, you know, and a lot of obstacles in the way.
I applaud you for taking the journey, brother, because a lot of people repress that shit. No, it's true though, and I know you say, but like, it's so true, because that's when you start repressing that shit, you push it down, it gets too long, like, and then it starts to really kind of, you know, manifest itself in like darker and deeper ways, you know. Then that comes out, I think, in a more destructive manner. You know what I mean? So for you to sit there and be like, hey, you know what? I'm feeling this way during this time. I mean, you and I have conversations all the time off air, like about all this stuff. So I'm glad we're having this conversation now too. But it's just like, you know, I'm feeling all these things. How do I get that out in a healthy way for not only myself, but like maybe this will resonate with somebody else too. You know what I mean? And even though you and I don't necessarily deal with anxiety the same way, I love what you're talking about, toxic masculinity. I think we even had this conversation maybe the first episode too, a little bit, where, you know, it's one of those things where like when I was growing up, you know, feeling your feelings was, you know, not something that was, or expressing your feelings was not exactly something that was always welcomed. Put it that way. And from the men on my side of the family, and then not to say that, you know, I'm not bashing my family by any stretch, so shout out to all my family, but like it's just not it's not healthy, and we need to normalize this shit. Like, why are we not normalizing mental health? Why are we not normalizing the fact that just man, woman, you know, whatever gender you are, like, it doesn't matter. Like, we all feel the same feelings. Like, let's just normalize that more. I think that in essence is important, and it takes artists like you, man, to really push that out into the limelight.
Thank you, man. Appreciate that, man. Yeah, I just feel like it's the only music I could really make. Like, if I could fucking go, like, you know, trap all you know, trap with my music, like, I would, but I literally can't. Like, that music, it would just sound like ass. Like, if I did that music, it would sound, I wouldn't be on this if I was making
you definitely,
that.
no, you wouldn't have caught my ear, but like, I feel as though too, that you have to be who you are too. Like, you can't be inauthentic. Like, I think that comes out with artists. I think that's something that is not valued as much, where you're talking about, like, you know, I can kind of recognize that this ain't the life you're living, right? If you're rapping about something that doesn't seem authentic. With you, everything you wrote on this, like, even if the soundscape for people, this is a little jarring, obviously, of an album, but even that, if I urge people that listen to this project to try to dive into the lyricism and hear what TAHA is talking about, because that is where I think people will find value in this project. And, you know, but for me, I think this shit is just fucking amazing. Like, I love the soundscape. This is like my type of thing. Even my mom, who, like, I know this is not her type of music whatsoever. There was a couple of songs she really liked, but she told me overall, she's like, I love the lyrics on this. Like, the writing is incredible. And I'm like, yeah, I'm well aware that the writing is incredible, but that's
sick.
Yeah.
Wait. That's fucking shout out to Mrs. Turntable, bro. Shout out to the moms, bro. That's like Mama Turntable, bro. Shout out to Mama Turntable, man. She's the best, bro.
DS Young. She's a writer herself, man. She's a content creator herself. DS Young, everybody on Instagram, definitely go make sure you give her a follow. But back to the project, bro. I definitely want to talk about the soundscape a little bit and like the creation of this. Obviously, you had your boy Sir Rollie on this, who absolutely killed the production. Big shout out to him too. We're just doing all the shout outs right now. Like, he's definitely one we had a shout out. But I want to talk a little bit about the production with this project, because that was the really biggest thing that stood out to me as well, besides the lyricism, was how different sounding this was. Take me through, like, you guys crafting how this this project was going to sound with the two of you guys.
Yeah, man. I mean, Rollie, he's really just such a versatile producer, which is something amazing, because I feel like I like, dabbling in a lot of styles. I never wanted to do one thing, because that's terrible. that's the worst thing ever.
Yep.
To do one thing. Like, damn, you can only, like, you never want a dog that does one trick. That's fucking stupid.
That's true.
Like, you know what I'm saying? Like a one trick pony type shit. Like, nah. Like, that shit gets corny. That shit gets boring. It gets stale as fuck.
That's how you get phased out as an artist.
For real.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, you just get washed the fuck over. Exactly. So I always really wanted to do multiple styles. That's why I really, I have a lot of love and respect for Sir Rollie, because he just does so many styles. Experimental, soul, he be experimenting with like a lot of electronic music here and there with all the samples we be finding, and that's kind of how we do it. So I just dig through samples, sometimes on YouTube, other times on vinyl, just going to like a record store and just looking through vinyls, and we just look for samples, and then we just like sit in the room and we try to like go about the beat. And he's like, all right, what's the mood? I'm like, okay, this album, trying to preface this. Every time I go to an album, I think of a name and an album cover, because I like imagery. That's how I keep the album cover as the image, and then the name is just like kind of like it's like, okay, word, this is the trajectory we're going in. So we were just talking, and he was like, all right, what's the mood? And I was like, yeah, this album's called Have Nightmares About Me. And it's just very angry album. It's like, I want to keep it short, like 15 minutes, man. I don't want it to overstay its welcome whatsoever. And he's like, all right, word. And so I think that was the main thing, just like trying to, go with the emotion of that. And I think that's what really brought us together. And also, I mean, he just got better. That was the thing. I got better and he got better. It was crazy. Like, he really just got better. And then I did too. And so I think even my audio engineer got better, like, cause he knew like what sound, he knew who I was then. He was like, all right, yeah, this is Taha. I gotta mix his vocals in this way, cause he goes about the music in a very raw way, very vulnerable format. So all right, word. So I gotta like, do some audio engineer magic that I don't know what the fuck he's doing, but.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean? I don't know what the fuck. I saw the plugins he has, bro. I was like, what the fuck, bro?
Dude, the way he mixed some of your vocals was crazy, especially on the lead single, the title track, Nightmares, which you have some unbelievable visuals from this one.
Thank you, man.
Shout out to Pierce.
Yeah, shout out to Pierce, bro. He's really great. If anyone needs a videographer, go to Pierce. He is the guy. He is the guy. Especially if you're in Massachusetts and you need someone, go to Pierce. Like, trust me on that.
I be raw with it, but the law with it. I be raw in it, hard headed. I'm starting it. They be far with it, augmented. I be gone, gifted, got my cloth fitted, calm in it. I be calm with it, they be with it. Ain't no fuckboy in my DM. Girl, cut me up like damn, she wanna see him. What go right in on me and she screaming carpe diem. And she really wanna see him. I'ma pull up to the spot like, hey, have nightmares about me. I'ma go and kill it, I'm better than all the rest. I be working with the positive, saying that I was blessed. They be talking, they be knocking, don't ever go second guess. I'ma pull up to the spot like, hey, have nightmares about me. I'ma go and kill it, I know I'm the one they envy. They ignore and say I'm boring, they really try to offend me. If you say it to my face, don't you ever go second guess me. I'ma pull up to the spot like, hey, have nightmares about me.
Shout out to him, man, cause that Nightmares music video, that was bananas. That was work. That was actual work. Like, putting the clay on me and the chains. I had 80 pounds of fucking, my neck hurt, man. I didn't buy me like a Tempur-Pedic pillow like the next day, bro. Like, I had to, That shit was so much, bro. Like, I was like, fuck.
Yeah, I was gonna say, like, shooting some of that must have been ridiculous. Like, you guys were in the middle of cemetery too. Like where'd you shoot all?
Oh yeah, that was freaky because I hate cemeteries. That was actually kind of freaking me out. But like, yeah, like we did a cemetery. We did like this wood place that he just knew. That's the thing. Like the cool part of just like people are like, oh, I need to do a music video in LA. I need to do a music video in like this place. And it's like, nah, man. You can find the most beautiful areas in your backyard. Like there's some just go around your town and look. And there's some beautiful places you can find. So I feel like that was really, that's what he did, and because he has, the people who like really make beautiful art is they look in the most simplest places. Less is more type of shit. You feel me?
Totally.
So like, I think that was the thing. And so yeah, we just went around his town and he found all these places. So,
dude, it came out incredible. Like I couldn't believe it. I think the just the aura of it just matched so like, and the visuals that matched so good with the soundscape, and just everything just I think came together on not only this album, but particularly this particular title track, which starts off the project. Definitely starts it off with a bang. Definitely starts it in a certainly a dark place. What made you want to make this the single? And because it's an ambitious song. Like let's just put that out there. Like this song is ambitious as fuck. So tell me a little bit about creating this song in particular.
I feel like, I was just, because I was like, all right, like creating the song in particular. I found the sample and I was like, this is fire as fuck. And then I was like, yo, Rollie, make this into like a fucking nightmare. And he did exactly that. That's the thing about Sir Rollie, is Sir Rollie fucking, you tell him to do something and he just does it. Like he just fucking executes it perfectly. So I feel like the beat was just crazy. And then I was like, yo, let's put some chains in there, like actual chains, And then we did that. And then it just kind of was like this very haunting vibe. And it was like the beat, I just fell in love with it. And then I was like, okay, how am I going to go about it? And I think that outro of it, particularly, like,
I drop 100 in her OnlyFans. She calling me now. She calling me now. She calling me now. She calling me. 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 She calling me. She calling me. Calling me. Calling me. Calling me. Calling me. Calling me. I'ma pull up to the spotlight.
That shit is fucking. That's when I was like, yeah, this is the single. I think it was just the outro, really.
That outro is ridiculous, dude. Very ridiculous. And hey, I gotta say this too. Big shout out to my producer, Sam. I shout him out all the time. But like he loves the song. That's like his favorite one on the project is Nightmares. He's like, this song is unbelievable. But also same with him, like tell him to do something or like he just does it exactly the way I would have done it in my head, except it's always comes out even better. Like that is when you have someone like that, like you latch onto them big time. You know what I mean? Like when you have someone like that you just work super well with too. So that's so amazing. But Nightmares, man, this track was a absolute freak show. Just bonkers. Like I thought this thing was just next level. Like you had on Breath of the Phoenix, you had some songs that were a little bit like kind of going in this direction that you went in on this project, but like not to this extent. Like you went full fledged. And I love what you said about the fact that making this only 15 minutes, and I kind of think it works well. I don't know if this was like some kind of foresight or maybe it's just me. Or if you had this foresight, or if this is just me kind of spitballing, but typically when you have like a moment of rage, like that doesn't last that long. You know what I mean? So like why? And I think for you, like recognizing that, being like, okay, 15 minutes in and out, like this is like my rage album essentially, or like my album to get this out. That does, for someone to listen to that for a full hour, maybe doesn't make a ton of sense, right? Like because those emotions often are very quick and hard hitting and same thing with this project for sure. So yeah, Nightmares, man, that track was incredible. And then Steady's the next track. Steady's my sleeper on this track, on this album, buddy. Like I love that song. That sample, dude, holy shit. That sample is so goddamn good. It's so good.
Walking around when I was 5, I never thought I would die. I was always working hard, never was telling a lie. To be honest, I wasn't confident, I was kinda shy. A lot of teachers try to touch me, yeah, I do wonder why. I had some friends who said they didn't really like what I eat. A lot of people said I never did smell good in the heat. Yeah, I love making friends, I was always so generous. Till those same friends surrounded me and called me a terrorist. I tried crying to my daddy, said it'll make me regret it for being less than a man. He grabbed the belt and he went in. If I hate myself already, then why am I offended? I am worthless, tongue-tied lately.
I love it, man. I love it. And then I love how you had like the first part of the beat, right? And then you bring in like, and then you bring, Rollie did this or whoever did this, I don't know. And then you brought in the second part of the beat, and then the third part is like both of them together, and like the energy is just crazy. Like, oh my God, man.
Steady, keep my head steady, yeah, I was thrown out, blown out, I got taken the goal now, cold out, I fold out, I'm old now, I'm bold now, I wrote down my notes, keep my head steady, keep my head steady.
And I also like, I think lyrically, your writing on this song was some of the best you had on the whole project, in my opinion. I mean, that first verse, you talking about how, you know, difficult it was for you to, be a young Muslim boy in America and growing up in a town that was probably, you know, not as diverse as you know, other towns and cities and things like that, and getting picked on for being, you know, for being Muslim, being called a terrorist, right? And then, you know, trying to go home and talk about your dad and just all that. So incredible. So tell me a little bit about like the, you know, writing this song, because I think this song is kind of like really where we get so personal with you, you know?
Yeah, man, it's definitely like the rawest one. And my girlfriend was saying like she was saying it's like the most honest in a way. You know?
Mm-hmm.
And my even one of my friends he brought it in a perspective in a way which was like, it's so sad, even the production wise, because when the production plays beautifully with the lyrics, right, and the vocals, like it mimics it, they just work together to illustrate this beautiful but tragic fucking story. And the main tragic part is you hear that beautiful vocal sample, right?
Yep.
At the beginning, and it's like, oh, what's this TAHA, what's this gonna lead to? But then it turns dark.
Yes, it gets really dark really fast.
It gets dark.
And those horns like have, I think, the most like positive sort of connotation to them on the whole song, right? Like the vocal sample, you said, definitely is a little bit like raw and even a little sad sounding in its tone, but the horns, I like those because that even gives it some brightness in the beginning, and
exactly.
I think that is what gives it the contrast towards the second half of it, where it's like boom, like it gets dark, it gets aggressive like real quick.
Yeah, and that was cool because Steady has a little bit of a soft spot for me for obviously just like the lyrics, but I actually produced half of that with the dark vocals, which was like da 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 da, like that shit, yeah. Like I actually, because Rollie was like, all right, you got an idea, and I was like, yeah, wait, I got something, and he's like, all right, word, and I was just like fucked around on the keyboard and shit, and I just did that pattern, and he was like, yeah, that's fire. And then he was like, all right, what happens if we bring everything together? And I was like, wait, that's perfect. And so, like, you know, I think that was just, like, again, a testament to Rollie of just how well we work together and how well he's able to see my vision, pick it up, bring it to this place, you know, and just we keep the ball, like, continuously rolling. That fucking track, yeah, that shit crazy, man. Especially that end. The way the track ends, too. Just like just back to the kid. It's like, damn, like, it's so sad.
No, and like I said, I think that this is like what I said a little earlier on this episode, where I was saying like, this is, I think, where, like, I agree with your girlfriend, where it's like the honesty is where this comes out, right? And it's really where, you know, your voice, I think, is so prominent and so important in hip hop, because you're talking about things that often don't get talked about, like Islamophobia, like even bullying, right? I mean, how many artists really talk about being bullied? I don't really hear a ton of artists talking about being bullied. So there's just and then of course like you going home to, you know, tell your dad about it, and he's just like, hey, like, you know, like, man up. This is what's gonna happen. Like, you're in America. This is just what's gonna happen. And I don't know why that's like, why we have to accept that. That's where I'm at with it. Why do we have to accept that?
It's so hard, the fucking generational thing about it, because it's like, you know, it's so hard because it's like you need them to be better and they should be better, and he obviously shouldn't have gone about that. That was like the worst way to go about it. At the same time, like, he was from a different time and a different country, and it's just context. That's why it makes him even more confusing, because it's like, like they weren't talking about anxiety or depression. They weren't talking about that shit. Your parents, like, we've talked about it. Like, your dad, you know, you just sit from an Italian family. Yeah. They weren't talking about that during those times.
No, you push that shit down, bro. You don't talk about that shit. That's not
100%.
It's taboo.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's just like, it's just the generational thing, really, too, which is crazy, and it makes it more confusing because, like, you know, I know some people, like, they talk about, like, a TV show, and there's, like, a problematic character of sorts, and then they don't like that the problematic character gets a backstory. They're like, no, that's not fair. And it's like, but that's real, yo. Like, that's real thing.
Yeah. You don't get the problematic kid without the story. There's always a story behind that, right?
Exactly.
Like, nobody's just problematic because, right? I mean, there's so many studies that they've done between, like, nature versus nurture, right? I mean, they've even done, like, there's even documentaries out there where you know, twins, like, separated at birth and brought up into different, you know, environments, and to see, like, how they you know, how they react to whatever environment it is, and there is something to be said for, like, you know, we are all born a certain way. We all kind of, like, wired however we're born, but also, like, our environment totally impacts who we are, who we become. You know what I mean? Like, you know, the energy that we take in, like, I mean, especially if you're, like, an empathetic person, like I know, like, you know, I'm sure you're the same way, but, like, you know, for me, it's like, I take on people's energies a lot too. I feel like I'm definitely, like, an empath a little bit in that sense. And that's a lot of, to take on a lot of the time, right? Because, and then the people bullying you, you know, I mean, like, what happened to them that made them bully you? You know what I mean? Like, what was theirs? Not excusing like anything that, you know, that they said or whatever, like, you know, whatever the case. I'm not excusing bullies or anything, or anybody that, you know, does destructive things to people. But, you know, you have to think about, like you said, there's always a story there, you know?
Exactly. Like, it's everyone's job to, you know, get out of the shit that they're in, you know, to rework their traumas, to transform their, you know, those traumas and those toxicities within them, and then transform them into some form of like, I guess, light in a way, you know, and try to find ways out of their darkness. That is everyone's job. At the same time, you know, it's the stories that help you realize that you can't villainize a person, you can't demonize them, because they're more than that, you know.
Yes.
Totally. There's a whole system at play. There's a whole, you know, history at play. There's a whole world at play, you know. There's just so many factors and so many variables that you know, we can't even, we don't know when you look at someone's face. You don't know that. So I think that's really you know, Steady just really highlights looking at the story, you know, and I think it just leads into No Colors so well, you know.
Dude, yeah. Because like the ending, like you talked about, it has all that crazy energy and it gets darker quick, and then it probably gets as dark as it's going to get on this whole project. Oh, well, I shouldn't say that. Blood's pretty dark, but we'll definitely start at No Color here, dude. This is like your best Death Grips impression, I thought, man. Like, you killed this shit. I thought if anybody listened to Death Grips, right, as a fan of them, then listen to this, you're like, oh yeah, like, I can get down with this one.
I ain't no color in the fucking lie. Always gotta keep it right. Motherfuckers say I'm wrong. I ain't no color in the fucking lie. Always gotta keep it right. Motherfuckers say I'm wrong. Ain't no color in the fucking lie. Ain't no color in the fucking lie. Ain't no color in the fucking lie.
Tell me a little bit about No Color, because I mean, I have a hunch of what it was about, and I have a good understanding. I think it was definitely more geared towards societal. This kind of, we're going away from you a little bit on No Color. We're going more towards like society and things of that nature. So, but tell me a little bit about the creation of No Color.
Yeah, man, it's like, ooh, I love that song so much.
It's my gym song. It's been my new.
What?
It's been my workout song.
Yo, all those gym bros out there, man, you need this song. I'm gonna say that, because if you lifting what like 100, if you squatting 100 pounds, you're gonna squat 200 when you listen to this song, guaranteed. You know what I'm saying?
Or your money back.
Or your money back, 100%. Like, if you running 1 mile, you running 15 with this song. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, this song will get you. So like, I don't know, I always loved rock music. Well, actually, that's not true. But
what you out here lying on turntable teachers for, bro? Come on, tell the people the truth.
I haven't always loved it. It's funny because I was shouting to my boy Jared. He called me out because he's like, wait, you've never really listened to rock music, but you love this album by Daughters. There's this album by Daughters.
Oh, the one that oh my god, what was it called?
It's like
a couple of years ago, Needle Fantano had it as
it was
top
like his
album.
favorite album of all damn time.
I know which one you're talking about.
Yeah, that one with the ghost on it. And
Yes.
like, it was funny. So I wasn't always a fan of rock, but I fucking love Daughters. I was like, this shit's fucking good. He's like, you like this shit? He's like, you listen to weird EDM shit and you like this rock music? And then I went down this rock path. So I slowly started getting into like rock music and just like fucking aggressive shit. And I was like, yeah, this is beautiful as fuck. And so like, I was like, okay, how can I bring this here? Let me just bring all my, because I always like bringing my influences in, you know, as much as I can. So I found like this rock band. Me and Rollie were like fucking around with it. He was like, all right, word, the sample's gonna be pretty simple, but I'm gonna fuck with the drums. And then I was like, all right, word, it needs something else. And I was like, all right, there was this synth player that DJ Billa, shout out to him. Because he's I just found him through the fucking shits, you know, through the internet. He's in like Turkey. You know, I just found him through the internet, and then, you know, he threw some sinister ass synths. And that's the thing, this track's like probably the most sinister one, especially with the fucking laugh at the end. So I think even, and it's also, I feel like the whole album, in a way, and especially at No Color, is, yeah, I'm like very aggressive, but in a way I'm screaming for people to be like, can you please just fucking love me? Can I please just be fucking, can someone please just fucking see that I'm worthy? Cause like in the line of it's like, I'm sorry, your highness, this is expression at its finest. I be trying my hardest to be spotless, where I'm honest, I'm not a man, I'm a liar. Throwing down in the fire, tearing down your messiah, I ain't no clone of Al-Qaeda, I'm screaming. And it's just like, you know, he's like begging, you know, even that there was this little refrain right before the second verse where it's like, knife in my back, cause damn they was plotting on me. Knife in my back, cause damn they was plotting on me. Knife in my back, cause damn they was plotting on me. Knife in my hand, cause damn they be plotting on me. Like, you know, I take the knife out and I'm stabbing them right back, you know. And it's just like, and then also even that second verse where it's like, take a stand, motherfucker. Is you gonna bow down, bow wow, crying like a kid? You a clown now. Tears won't stop you from getting a heavy pound out. Wipe them tears before you in the ground now. I'm trying to live. I'm trying not to fucking be put in the fucking ground. You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to fucking fight for my fucking life. It's like my back's against the wall and I'm lashing at everything that looks red. The problem is everything is looking red.
Red, yeah. I wanted to actually, every time I listen to the song, I want to send you like a throat lozenge and like and some tea. Because I'm like, how the hell does this man like get through this whole song screaming like that? I've always felt that way about like screamo bands and stuff like that. Like, how do they not like completely lose their voices?
I was sweating. I'd be like, oh, my throat hurts. Like, I was like, fuck, I'm not used to this shit. I don't do this music. Like, fuck me.
Like, this is a one-time deal and I'm done.
Like, low key though, I was like, fuck, bro. I'd be like, like flexing during the fucking takes, because I'd be like, I didn't want to take a breath, and I was like, okay, I gotta pump it out. And so and just like, I think the best fucking vocal performance was that third part though, that third verse. That was fucking insane. I love how can you love life when you always fucking losing? That line.
I mean, Yeah, and then it's no wonder that things came to a head this year when they did, because it's like you can only hold people down for so freaking long before they just get so angry that they, you know what I mean, that they protest. I mean, I'm not condoning any rioting or anything like that, but like people obviously are upset, and rightfully so.
Hell
you know what
yeah.
I mean? Like there's when you're oppressed for that long and told you're this, you're that, like and bully the way that that we've done to certain minority groups in this country, like no shit, people are eventually just going to be like people are going to snap. It just is what it is, like
the human soul could only take so much.
seriously, seriously.
And it's like, no, if people paying attention, it's like, yeah, no shit, the people are expressing themselves in these ways, and not to mention the media fucking depicting them in a certain way that's not true, saying some peaceful protests are more fucking violent when they're not.
Exactly.
Fuck the media for that shit. But like, even just like the violent ones, it's like, yeah, how else are you gonna react? And that's why I feel like it was some of the most impressive vocal deliveries I've done, especially with the fucking laugh at the end. That shit was bananas.
I thought it was crazy. I thought
that's
that song. It has a good. It's a good, I think, middle ground in this project, because you kind of you set the tone with Nightmares. Steady's really like that background story of you, like, okay, why, what you're about to hear, what you just heard, like, why.
Yeah.
Steady explains all of that. No Color's essentially like that climax heightened. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna skip the fourth track for just a second, because we're gonna do our lyrical breakdown track by track. We're gonna go line by line, track by track. Oh my god, I'm sorry. We're gonna go line by line with the fourth track in this listing, Big Shot. But so I'm gonna just fast forward just a little bit to Blood, and actually not even a bad transition here, because that's another one where it kind of, Big Shot's kind of almost a break from that No Color. Then we're right back to Blood towards the end. But Blood, man, this I know you said vocal performance in terms of like Big Shot, probably one of the better ones, but I have to ask the introduction for Blood, because the start of this, I kind of already know the answer. We've talked about this before, but just for the people listening here, like this is just unbelievably like not only hilarious but also a little sad too at the same time, I think, because it kind of paints the picture of like where we are right now. But I still think it's pretty funny. So the opening, where the heck did that come from?
Hey. All you fake woke, chunk Charlie, wolf white cop, kissing Karen, cuddling, abiding, Trump trolling, basement dwelling, fuckboy, frat motherfuckers, ain't God. I will fuck all your he, motherfuckers talking, thinking, me. All these rapper clones, they be my mini-me's, blowing on the smoke, get married, really, birthday, Tuesday, paying for their pigs, they really paying other fee, that he, really be coming from only me. Trump supporters talking shit, they really can ask, see, let me be, if you piss me off, I'ma take you for a ride, I'ma put them not a lie, you gon' die, get fresh.
Yo, I don't even know. I think I was just like spitballing. I was just like, fuck all of them. Like, I hated all of them, everyone, all the Karens, all the fucking Biden bros, all the fucking basement dwelling fuckboy frat motherfuckers. Like, I fucking hated all of them, and I was like, yeah, I'm gonna just give each one, because it was just like looking through the year, I was like, what the fuck, bro? Like, shit, this was fucked. Charlottesville, bro. That fucking weird ass white couple with the fucking guns. They were just like, what the fuck are you doing? You know what I'm saying? Some of these fucking stupid ass YouTubers, who be saying some racist ass shit. Like, it was just everywhere, man. And I was like, yeah, nah. It just made sense, Like I said, like I when I see music, I see it as puzzle piecing. So I was like, what's the best puzzle for this piece? And I was like, oh yeah, this is it. This little like fuck you preface to just every single one of these like incompetent fucks that just like be spewing out racist ass shit.
Yeah, I mean, this track is some of the most anxiety ridden types of songs I think you'll ever hear, and I think it's the Eru is awesome on this, and you were the one that put me onto this type of instrument, which I did not know. And just for context, tell us a little bit about the Eru, because I'm actually curious to learn a little bit more about it too. I went down a weird rabbit hole and like listened to a bunch. I was telling you earlier, I was listening to a bunch of people.
Yeah, it's just like, people compare it to like they call it like the Chinese violin or like kind of like the East Asian fiddle. And it's a string instrument. If people are familiar with the show Marco Polo, not Marco Polo, it is Marco Polo actually.
I wouldn't be familiar.
It was like some Netflix show with like the Marco, that famous dude. He's like some discoverer of sorts, and like
Marco Polo.
Marco Polo. I kept feeling weird about it because I was like, wait, isn't that just a game? And I was like, no.
No, that has context.
But like, it was after the show Marco Polo, and the theme song had it. And I was like, this instrument, because I just love strings. I love strings too.
Me too.
I think they're very emotional. I think they really bring a beautiful cathartic vibe to a track. Cathartic, like, just like a sense of release.
Yeah.
Of just pure, just like, it really tugs at your heart, Like, I don't know, at least for me, strings really do that for me. And the Eru just has like a very beautiful tone to it, Such a beautiful tone to it. So if people haven't heard of it, just look up the Eru, and yeah, you'll be happy, because that shit's beautiful.
I like it. And then I don't know what the heck you mixed with it. I couldn't even tell. I don't know if it was like it was just craziness. I felt like
video game noises.
Yeah, literally
put a bunch of video game shit.
Because
that's the thing too. We want samples to build the story. Like all these samples I use, they help build the story. So I was like, okay, like specific video game scenes we put in there. There's this one from Dead Space where it's this person he turned into a fucking zombie and he's just smashing his head on the ground until he dies, and we used that as a drum for like the last chorus.
Jeez.
You know what I'm saying? Because it was just the anger of just like turning into a monster, and you're like, I don't want to fucking turn into this, but I keep trying and it's not working, so fuck it. There's only one way out. And so like other shit we put Primal. Yeah. It's this Adult Swim cartoon by the dude who made Samurai Jack.
Okay.
He made this cartoon Primal. Beautiful fucking cartoon. I fucking love the animation so much. The story's beautiful. And we took a bunch of just monsters just fucking screaming and like put that shit through like, a bunch of like put a bunch of effects on them so they're just distorting and it's sounding like a video game in a way. So, we really want the samples because in a subconscious way, I think to the listener it helps build the tone and the emotion of the song as well. So
definitely. It was a cool way to end the project for sure, because it just like it ended it, I think, exactly where it needed to. Like again, like you just afterwards, after listening to this whole thing, it's just like, whoa, like I got to take a minute, because like it was like just so emotional, but like jarring, but at the same time, like you said, like it's such a beautiful release of all these emotions, and like and you did it in a way that wasn't preachy. It didn't sound like you were complaining. It just felt so authentic and just real, and I appreciated that so much, just coming from you, and like knowing you on a personal level. I mean, that certainly helps, but I think for anybody that is kind of getting into your discography, I think this is a good entry point, because not only does nothing you've ever made sound like this, you're not going to get anything that's going to sound like this, I think, all year. I'd be hard pressed to imagine that you'll find something. I mean, you'll definitely hear there's influences here. Like I said, I mean, there's obviously, video game synths, as you mentioned, and Death Grips and JPEG Mafia, and I'm sure there's different artists that in rock, as you mentioned, there's certain rock elements that are definitely here. But it's still you. It's still proprietary to you as a person. So I just feel like it's such a good gateway to getting into your psyche, and it's a quick hitting project, 15 minutes, but at the same time I almost feel like it's kind of your like statement of arrival too. It's like you're like, because with your sound you're just like, yo, I'm here to stay, like this is what I'm doing, man, like this is me. And I think no song does that better than Big Shot. I think you agree. I mean, you've told me this too. I think it's your best song you've ever made. I think Lately's in that conversation. but Big Shot is definitely, I think, your best song you've created. And definitely want to do a little lyrical breakdown. It's a perfect time for this to do the lyrical breakdown of Big Shot.
So, prefacing the whole song, it sounds like a fucking showdown, like a Western-ass fucking showdown. And I literally, shout out to my friend Jeremy, because he shows me all these movies, and I was watching that movie Once Upon a Time in the Wild West. Once Upon a Time in the West, you know, and there was this crazy scene, right? Two motherfuckers coming at each other, one with the white hat, one with the black hat, you know? And they're just circling at each other, and there's so much attention to the detail. They're both staring down each other, one purely stoic, even kind of smiling in a way, because he knows he's going to win. He just knows it. The other one, he's trying. He's, like, very perplexed. He's looking at the shadow of the sun, you know, trying to make sure everything lines up. And then, you know, they get ready. Before he can even take his gun out, the dude fucking gets shot. Falls to the ground, he fucking loses. It's the fucking showdown. So that's the whole point of Big Shot. That's why I called it Big Shot. Kind of also inspiration from an anime, Cowboy Bebop, where they had Cowboy Bebop is a bunch of bounty hunters, and they had a bounty hunter show, which is like Big Shot, which is like, okay, the best bounty for the day. This is the largest one. This guy. Let's see you next time on Big Shot. So it's just like that. So it's just like this kind of like this tone, right? It's like hunting. Like, I'm gonna hunt down these white supremacist motherfuckers, and I'm gonna kill every single one of them. That was just it. Just like a pure like bravado type shit. So that's just prefacing that. So that explains the chorus, which is like, I got a white and the black hat, I'ma kill another rat. I don't let her go shoot, put some wire on my bat. Got some stains on my heart, more permanent than a tat. I be asking where they at, where the hell they at. Pull up to your frat with the Molotov. We be popping off, we won't talk, we won't walk it off. Save your monologue, grab a Nazi, throw his body like a somersault. I'ma kill him all raw, film it, put it in a movie.
I got a white and a black hat, I'ma kill another rat. I don't let her go shoot, put some wire on my back. Got some stains in my heart, more permanent than a tap. Yeah. I got a white and a black hat, I'ma kill another rat. I don't let her go shoot, put some wire on my back. Got some stains on my heart, more permanent than a tap. I be asking where they at, where the hell they at. Pull up to your frat with the Molotov. We be popping off, we won't talk, we won't walk it off. Save your monologue, grab a Nazi, throw his body like a somersault. I'ma kill him all raw, film it, put it in a movie.
So, you know, putting in a movie again is just like the cinema, because the whole, people have said the whole album feels like a fucking score. Feels like a fucking thriller-ass movie.
It does.
You know what I'm saying?
Totally would fit on a score for a thriller or some kind of. This song would fit great on a western, or even like, I'm even thinking some kind of like, you know, it would even make sense with like if anyone's gonna make this type of movie, I think that would be perfect. Like cowboys versus aliens. I know that's probably a movie out there somewhere. Maybe I'm wrong, but it sounds like it'd be perfect for that because it's atmospheric enough yet has that like western sound. So yeah, the movie score thing works. I agree.
And I guess with the chorus, it's just like, I don't know. I just really fucking I don't hate. It was weird because I actually talked to a frat dude, and I was like, oh, this guy's actually kind of nice. He's actually not a complete dickhead. But I mostly hate all fucking frats. I hate the music they play. I hate the way they move. The music they play, even though that's not the worst thing about them, it just sucks. Like, you go to a party, they be playing like the Shrek 2 soundtrack, bro. They be like, somebody want, like, you be hearing that shit. I was like, yo, quit. I'll be looking at my friends. I'm like, why are we here, bro? Like, this shit sucks. And I never went to a frat party, and like, but just hearing all the stories, the way they move, I was like, no, fuck these. I fucking hate them. I hate them so much. And a part of me is saying that because I'm also afraid of them on some real shit. But like, you know, which is like kind of like with blood, you know, like the whole thing. But like Big Shot though, that's why I love like Save Your Monologue. Like, again, just kind of like a Shakespearean aspect to it. Yeah. You know, just like a way of just like trying to bring again like this whole like cinematic showdown. I'm just really trying to illustrate it with my words. Characters tend to caricatures, they fake in the streams. Amateurs try to walk, I think they fake in the dreams. Lost of words cannot talk, they be so lost in the schemes. Massacres to the art, simple in the screams. And that's just crazy because it's just like, I love the characters turn caricatures because these people be looking like fucking clowns when they be faking their goddamn streams. Because like,
we just talked about that.
Y'all just talked about it, and I literally messaged. I was like, "Nah, man, it's a lose, man. No one, because you can fake your fucking streams, and no one goes to your damn shows."
That is true too, and like there is something to be said for that because
Yeah.
like I don't understand it. We had a long conversation about it, Phoenix and myself. You and I have had the topic conversation a lot. Like, if you're gonna buy streams, are you? Actually, my other question too. We should have brought this up. Are you gonna get money off the streams you bought?
It's like,
you know what I mean?
Guess, like, yeah, you could,
Would you?
but that's just stupid, man. Like, no, they're not gonna buy your merch, and then you just flexing, and then
That's
you're just
true.
a fake fuck. Like, you're just a fake fuck. And if you want to move through life like a fake fuck, then word. But then that's the thing. Like, this whole song is about calling all the fake fucks, calling all the fucking, frats, and they're like, oh, we care about charity, but also we're gonna just like demonize. We're gonna, what's it called? Like, slut shame woman, and we're just gonna fucking be racist as fuck, and but we're still gonna mimic black culture to the highest extent. But also, it's just like these motherfuckers be so fucking fake, and that's what I hate so much. And they're just so ignorant. So that was the thing. I just call ignorance out in this track. So that's why I was like, fuck these fake streaming motherfucking. So it's just like, and then the back half of that verse, which is like, simple in this screams, reamping the voices of the lost, we a deadly weapon, rebranding the vision, fuck the cause, I be steady stepping, basic babyface rappers faking, they aching for payment, aiming for safe haven, complaining they patient when they ain't shit. And I love that, because I love the reamping the voices of the lost, we a deadly weapon. I love that part because it's just like, again, it's like, yo, come, let's go. You're not alone. Motherfuckers who be feeling so alone, like, they're all this shit, like, because that's the thing. There's something beautiful about feeling angry and saying fuck you to those who say fuck you. You know what I mean? Because, like, a lot of people bend over. A lot of people are just like, yeah, just fuck me. It's okay. And it's just like, no, I don't. There's something so beautiful about just fucking standing up and being like, looking someone in the fucking face and being like, fuck you. Fuck, the sincerest way of just like, fuck you, fuck all your friends, fuck your frat, fuck your fake streams, and fuck all of this shit. Because fuck your, just like, you're just the whole thing. Because the people be really coming at you in the weirdest ways, and they try to gaslight you and try to play these mind games like, I didn't mean it in this way, and well, actually, this. It's like, nah, man, I see you. Mm-hmm. So I think that's the reason why I really love that line, because it's just saying like, yo, I see these people. You're not alone. Now come with me, because you're not alone. Mm-hmm. We can fight it together. It's in a way, it's like a roll call. You know what I'm saying? So that's why I really love it. And also just the rhyme scheme of that shit was bananas.
Yeah. Yeah, and the way you just did it now too.
Yeah, word. Yeah. I'm not those rappers who be like, okay, I'm gonna do one line and then let me do the other line, and then I'm like, nah, I do a one take and I'm gonna do it again. Like, boom. That's it.
I love it.
Feel me? And so then that's the chorus again, and then it goes into like this really cool refrain in a way, kind of like a bridge in a sense, where it's like, once upon a time, not too long ago, had my heart ripped out, had nowhere to go. Once upon a time, not long ago, I had my heart ripped out, had nowhere to go. Hey.
Once upon a time, not long ago, had my heart ripped out, had nowhere to go. Had my mind fucked up, it was going slow. Kicked to the dirt, so I had to grow. Got some homies on my hip, homies on my right side. Fake woke bros, talking shit, leave them tie-dyed. Black and blue, they backs to you, they after you. Gotta hurry, cause they after me too.
Once upon a time, not long ago, I had my heart ripped out, had nowhere to go. You know what I'm saying? Had my mind fucked up, it was going slow.
My favorite part of this whole goddamn album, dude, is that refrain, dude. Those are the parts where like you got me, dude. Like after End of Nightmares on the OnlyFans line with the drop 100 and OnlyFans, and then this one, like this is where like you just reeled me in. I was like, ooh, he got me on this. This is catchy as all hell. Like this
so
is great.
crazy. I love that because it just sounds like a fucking, like, I don't know, I don't square dance, but I would square dance to that shit. Like, hell yeah, bro. I would square dance to that shit. That shit makes me want to wear a cowboy ass outfit, go to a fucking cowboy, whatever the fuck, and just swear.
I learned how to line dance in Nashville. I could teach you, dog.
Word. All right, we make that happen, boss. That
you.
shit fire,
Yeah.
bro. Because that shit makes me want to fucking line dance, square dance. Like, I feel like fucking.
I can't
Sandy
square
Cheeks.
dance. I can definitely line dance though.
Word?
I definitely learned how to do that. Yeah,
That's fire as fuck. I
not
feel
that
like
hard.
that fucking, there's that SpongeBob episode with Sandy Cheeks, bro. And she's like, I want to go back to tech. I feel like that shit, bro. Like, I feel like fuck, that shit was fire. So that was just like, again, it's just like a little folklore in a way. Just like a little folky type shit I did, and just like, again, it's like steady in a way, right? Like once upon a time, not long ago, it's like I got some homies on my left, homies on my right side, fake woke bros talking shit, leave them tie-dyed, black and blue, they backs to you, they after you, gotta hurry cause they after me too, you know? And then I love it's like another kind of break in the beat where it's like, only time I felt something was when I was fighting, I swear it out, like, you know what I'm saying? Like just this like, it's just like, just the position of like, the catharsis of fighting, you know, in a way, fighting for yourself and your loved ones. And again, like, it is beautiful in a way to do that. It is beautiful to say that, like, no, I'm worthy. I'm worthy to not be stepped on right now. And my people are worthy. And these people are worthy. We deserve to be advocated for. We deserve to be heard. We deserve to be treated as human beings, you know? And there's something so beautiful about that. So that's why I love that part. And there's this interesting line. It was like, if they turn on me, then they'll turn on you too. Like telling these people, like, yo, stop kissing the oppressor right now. Stop kissing their ass, because they'll leave you in a position where you think you're getting close to it, but you'll never be fully there. So you gotta stop, because then why are we in a rat race? Why is this? No, why are we in a rat race for freedom? That's not how it should be. So, you know, it's like that, and it's like, turn on me, you turn on them. You know what I'm saying? And just me really being like I am not gonna turn my back, because I know how it feels. I know how it feels when you got your fucking people who say they're your friends, people, you know, people who say they're gonna fight for you, people who say they're gonna protect you, people say they're gonna teach you, and they just fucking just take advantage of you in the worst fucking ways. I know how that feels, and I will never do that to someone. I will never leave them. So that's why it goes back into the chorus with the guitar by Mike Cotter, which is just some dude that Sheldon just like works with, like Sir Rollie works with. He just like found this dude. He's like, oh, you do guitar? Word. And shout out to Mike Cotter, because this dude literally has guitars all around his house, because he gets inspiration, right? He gets like those inspirational moments. He just grabs the guitar off the wall, and he just fucking does that shit. He just grabs the guitar off the wall and he just fucking does that shit. So like, you know, is shout out to him, because you can really hear the passion and love he has for the guitar and that. And yeah, it's just like really just the anger of just being like, no, you are not gonna do it. You are not gonna get away with this, and we are gonna stand up to you. So.
And I love how you said the only time I felt something was when I was fighting, and again it kind of goes back to literally the whole theme of what this episode has been and what we've been discussing. It's like, you know, you can feel so just flatlined and just hurt when people treat you that way, and then you finally feel that sense of confidence and freedom and almost like self-worth when you finally stand up for yourself and you're like, no, I'm not going to take this anymore. There's such a liberating feeling with that comes along
100%.
with that, and like 100%. Freeing yourself of feeling like you have to answer to certain people, or you know that you know other people feel like they, you know, they're above you and that they're gonna, you know, and again like you said, people taking advantage of you, all that stuff. It's like, you know, once you finally start to stand up for yourself is when you kind of get you back, you know what I mean? And like that can be in any, you know, situation. It can be racial, it can be, you know, just in a group of friends, right? Like maybe you have a friend that takes advantage of you all the time. It could be, you know, a boss, you know, some kind of work relationship, right? It could be your own relationship, right? Like maybe, you know, that person you're with is not great for you. Maybe they put you down. Maybe they'll make you feel, well, oh, you know, you'll be nothing without me. You know what I mean? Like there's certain partners that even act like that to their significant others, and it's just like, I love the message. It's like finding who you are, your self-worth, and standing up for that, and then finding like-minded people that won't take shit either. You know?
Yeah. 100%. And it's like you have to find joy in it, because goddamn, man, if I didn't, I'd be fucking dead. On some real shit, because like, you know, it's like you gotta find the joy in it. You know, we gotta find it.
Yep.
Because people have been fighting for their whole damn lives, especially so many, you know, like as the summer, right? So many black folk, you know, they were really just fucking fighting their whole lives, and they find joy in those moments. You know, marginalized folk are finding joy in these moments because there is joy in the moments, but also It's like, you know, you have to have that vision to see it, because if you don't, god damn, this shit would just be depressing as fuck. Like, that's why, you know, shout out to Big Shot, like, you know, like that fun refrain in the middle, right? It's a testament to the joy of it, right? It's a testament to, like, yeah, you can dance to this. You can dance through the pain and use the pain and transform it into something beautiful and something that connects to others and helps you connect to others, you know? So yeah. Sorry, I'm just fucking stroking my dick right now, and I'm just like, yeah, this shit's fucking beautiful. I'm like really proud of myself. Wow.
You should be proud of yourself, man. This body work is absolutely incredible. And then I love the how you kind of flip it in the outro a little bit, like those last three lines.
Is so good.
Those last 3 lines on the outro, I feel like are
really so beautiful. I love, so like there's like a little mantra. There's a little like mantra thing of you hear the beat kind of like folding in within itself, which again, testament to Sir Rollie, amazing. Just like folding in and out with the guitar. And it's actually, I'm not sure if some people picked up on it or not, but it's like lines from other songs.
Yes, like, I did pick up on that. One's from No Color, and then one's from Nightmares, correct?
Exactly.
Yes.
Yeah. And then like,
I'm glad you brought that up.
So one from Steady in a way too. So it's like again, it's like, I got a white and the black cat, I'ma kill another rat. I be working with the positive, saying that I was blessed. I got a white and the black cat, I'ma kill another rat. Got some mold in it, got some gold in it, gotta fold with it. That's from Steady. And so it's just like, I got a white and a black cat, I'ma kill another rat. I be working with the positive, saying that I was blessed. Got a white and a black cat, I'ma kill another rat. Ain't no color in the fucking law. And it's just like this weird, like, these lessons I kept trying to tell myself, right? And to work through the pain. And then at the end, though, it's a moment of I don't want to say weakness, but of me falling apart in a way where it's just like, once upon a time, not too long ago, had my soul ripped out, had nowhere to go. Demons said, nah, we were toe to toe. The pain was too much. My soul just had to go. You know, and at the end of the day, it's a loss. It's kind of like the thing about I've with Breath of the Phoenix, even my other album Airborne, I've always talked about a spot that I was in and I got out of. But with Have Nightmares About Me, it's a spot where I could have gone. I could have just given up on myself and become a full-fledged monster, and just really just become this person that ended up killing everything around it, and also ultimately himself at the end. Because that's the thing with Blood at the end, me screaming like that, and it ends that way. It's death. That's the thing.
And that makes sense. Like, it's where, like, I love how you meant that, like, where you could have been, like, where, you know, all of these things that have happened to you in your life, and all the, like, the pain, the suffering, the anguish from other people, like, wearing that all the time, like you, like we've talked about in this episode, like that lashing out like that, it can happen. And that's where the people, you know, that make their biggest grave mistakes, it comes from those places. So for you to take a step back and look at this and say, this is how I'm feeling, how can I put this into music so that way I myself don't go crazy, right? That in itself is such a beautiful thing. I know you say you're proud of yourself, dude. I am probably not the only person saying this. I am so proud of you, because that is a mature thing. You could have easily gone a really negative route, and instead you decided that, no, I'm gonna manifest this into a project, into an album, and I'm gonna be done with it, and that's it, and it's gonna stand on its own. And knowing you and knowing the music you make and the different kinds of music you make, like, I know this is just going to be a moment in your career, and I can't wait to hear the other moments that are going to come up in your career, because I know they're going to be so distinct and different than this one was. And just and that is the beauty of this project, man. You don't have to make another Have Nightmares About Me ever again, and nor should you, right? Because this is what it was, what it came to. All your pain kind of came out in this. Not to say that it hadn't come out in like other, you know, but you had talked about different things on Breath of the Phoenix, right? I mean, like on Man Down, you had talked about was it that was the song, right, with TAHA that was shot and killed by the I'm not remembering the story now.
You're right. 100%. No, you're right. Yeah, you on it, man. It was the fucking white supremacist motherfucker at you know, the mosque in New Zealand. And
that's the one. Yep.
Yeah, that shit was crazy. Yeah.
I mean, like, and that was painful for you to hear, like, obviously, and then you talk. I mean, there's a lot of different things that you talked about on Breath of the Phoenix, but I know where did you get so just like, you know, just you accepting what the pain was? You know what I mean? I felt like that's what this whole project was. And like I said, I think this is just a huge testament to you as an artist to put this into, to really bring this to life is just, I can't say enough good things about this project, guys. I mean, I know you've heard snippets of this album like throughout the episodes, so you really need to go check this thing out. It's linked in the description. It's out on all streaming platforms. TAHA's Have Nightmares About Me. You will probably have a nightmare about him. I guarantee it. One of these songs is gonna give you, or the sweatshirt you're wearing, which is kind of dope, by the way.
Yo, that's gonna be in my West Side Archive, man. He made this dope ass sweatshirt, bro. Like he painted this shit, bro. He crazy with it, man. Shout out to West Side Archive.
That thing is sick. No, I mean, anyway, guys, people, make sure you go stream this thing. As we've said a million times, definitely go check this thing out. It is a beautiful body of work. It is dark. It is gripping. It'll have you on the edge of your seat the entire time, and I don't know how you'll feel afterwards. I mean, I can tell you, like I said, I can tell you how I felt liberated. I felt I'm a little nervous and anxious from it. There was a lot of things that I felt after listening to this, but the music itself, the quality, it's so damn good. So you guys, make sure you check this out. Big shout out to TAHA. Big shout out to Sir Rollie. Everybody that worked on this project, Mike Cotter, DJ Bella, your audio engineer, who I don't know if you name dropped that.
Angelo Quaglia, man, North Fire Studios, man. It's an Amherst. Shout out to Angelo. He the best.
And TAHA, tell the people where they can find you.
Yeah, you can find me on all streaming platforms. You can find me on Spotify. You can find me on SoundCloud. You can find me on Apple Music. Tidal if you're bougie. You can find me on all of that shit. My music video, Nightmares, from my single Nightmares, is on YouTube. Shout out to Pierce for filming that. It's a beautiful. There's a lot of crazy visuals we got going on there with a dope ass camera. It's not some VHS camera like these other motherfuckers be doing that shit. Nah, it's some real ass good camera shit. So go check that shit out. And then yeah, just follow me and new music to come pretty soon. I'm gonna keep that rolling. So yeah, we gonna talk about that soon. So yeah.
Ooh. We'll have you back on again we'll have you on for your junior year or junior episode or whatever. This one was your sophomore episode.
Yeah.
So, no, great to have you again, man. You're always a great guest. And so like I said, guys, make sure that you go stream that album. Make sure you run up the numbers on that music video. It's all linked in the description for you guys. And yeah, once again, I'm Mike. This is TAHA with the Turntable Teachers, and class is officially dismissed. Turntable Teachers.